Hello, this is Ellis presenting for Group 2 SCLA, our informative how-to demonstrative video. In the previous step, you should have gotten the correct measurements to add to the bowl for the dough of the pizza. I'm making enough for 2 pizzas, but it would obviously be half of this, so it'll just take less time versus what it actually is. Once you have it all mixed in and all your ingredients are in there, you'll start mixing it. If you have an automatic mixer, you'd put that on, it's a lot quicker. But if not, like me, you'll just mix with a wooden spoon. Like this. Start to get sort of hard to mix like that, where the flour and the dough is all coming together with the yeast. That's good, you should do that. Be much easier with only one serving portion of dough versus 2. It's a lot more to mix. You could also use 2 bowls rather than 1. I just didn't have a second bowl to mix in. It's a lot easier to demonstrate with only 1 bowl rather than 2 at a time. Now once you kind of have it like this, where it's all kind of grouping up together, you sprinkle some flour onto your countertop so it doesn't stick to the table. Then you put some on your hands as well so it doesn't stick to your hands. Not too much, I mean, just enough so it doesn't stick, just a small coating. Then you'll dump it out onto the counter, and this is where we're going to start kneading our dough. Now is a good time to look at it and make sure you added enough water and or flour. It should stick to you, but not be too sticky to the point where it's like glue, just stuck on your hand. You'll stretch it out and then fold it over. And you'll continue to do that, and it'll get easier as it goes. Good thing about pizza dough versus something like cake dough, it's okay to over knead it, or it's not really possible to over knead it is a better way to say that. Because unlike in cake, where you don't want it to be too chewy by kneading too much, it's okay because you want your pizza dough to be chewy. Plus, when doing it by hand, it's a lot harder to over knead it, because more than likely you'll get tired before actually over kneading it. It's a little sticky, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Now, once you have your dough nice and cohesive, it's all put together, you can test it by pressing down onto it, and it should pop up like that. So it should be squishy, pop up all cohesive. Once you have like that, you're ready to put it into an oiled up bowl so it can rise. You get olive oil that you should have had before in order to mix the dough, ingredient for the dough. Just gonna pour a little in there, doesn't really matter. Use your hand to push up the sides of it so it gets all over the bowl. Then set your dough in there. My bowl's a little small, so I'm gonna pour a little on there, just so olive oil gets all the way around the dough, so that it's nice and coated by it. Once it's effectively coated, just set it in there and leave it. Then you're going to put it in the oven to rise for about an hour or until it is twice the size of what it is now. Around twice. It doesn't have to be exact. Before you do that, you're going to get plastic or a damp towel if you don't have like saran wrap that I have. Alright, you're going to cover it in plastic. And you're going to put it in your oven or another warm place. You can either heat up your oven to around 100 degrees and then turn it off, or just leave the light on, that's what I did, and that puts it at a warm temperature. Take it and put it in the oven. Alright, these are the final products. All you do is take the dough out of your oven once it's risen, put it on a baking sheet, and spread it out. And then you're ready for the next step.